What's up, boys? What's up?
Babs, what's up,
going
What's
dog?
up? Alec and Samir. Glad to have you boys on. The boys from Beyond the Beats. We're gonna make sure we get that in there.
Totally,
Dude, we were just talking about drinking games. Have you guys had these Bud Light lemonade things yet?
So I have not, and the reason why I'm answering this question first is because I know Alec is just not much of a hard seltzer kind of dude. Okay, like on our podcast, I'm always like comparing songs to like my favorite White Claw flavors, right? So like Ruby Grapefruit. If I love,
If you love a song, it's Ruby Grapefruit.
hell yeah, dude. And if I really dislike a song, then it's gonna be the mango one because mango is my least favorite.
Mango's my least favorite's like the strawberry or
Ooh, hot take.
or watermelon. I think.
You
I
know,
think.
but here's the thing,
Now I'm
dude.
confused.
Like, a lot of
Tangerine.
people.
Ugh.
Sorry, what was that?
Tangerine. Who likes that?
Dude, you're stepping on some
I'm
dangerous
stepping on some
territory right now,
toes.
because
Some
I
West Coast. Some
love
West Coast. This is West
tangerine.
Coast, East Coast shit right here. We're fighting right now.
But-
Florida, I like all the tropical stuff. I like the mango. You know.
But dude, we're on the West Coast. Like Alec is in San Francisco, I'm in San Diego. Yeah, dude, we're just we're kicking it. We got the summertime California vibes. Like I'm literally down for any White Claw flavor except for mango.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Samir, you didn't ask a question about the
Oh.
Bud Light. Like, what do you
Oh.
think about Bud Light? I think it's just personally, I think it's just hilarious that you've got all the big beer companies now coming out with these seltzers. You know, was it like Corona?
Yeah,
You know,
once
basically,
Yeah.
all the major beer brands come out with these seltzers. Like, it's so fucking funny.
once
how they
White
do
Claw
that
took away most of their market, they were like, "Oh shit, I guess we should
now. Like, what are we
invest in
doing?
this now." Like they had no idea it was. You know who has the worst? Is Coors. I'm sorry. Don't even
Oh,
waste your
yeah.
time. Don't even wait.
Yeah.
I wanted to support them so bad. I was excited when they came out with one. I was like, it's got to be good. And I got it, and it was just not good. I hate to talk bad about Coors because they're saving water. You know, you buy a pack, you save 500 gallons of water. It's a great thing to
Love
do.
that.
I might just buy the pack and throw it out, but I can't. Like, it's just not good. It's just not that good. These are amazing. I'm not even. These are just so good. I'm shocked. My favorite like podcast ever is Two Bears One Cave, and they were talking about them, and I was like, I guess I gotta try them now. I gotta try them, and they're
Whoa,
good.
So talking about these drinks got to you. It made you want to go out and purchase
It
a
did.
Bud Light seltzer.
Yeah. Because Bud Light Seltzer. So I had like a thing for a while where I was trying to get sponsored by Bud Light Seltzer. It didn't work, but I kept posting about them, and and then what's funny is I was like trying to convince all of my friends like Bud Light Seltzers are the best. Seltzers are the best. Like you gotta keep. And I kept buying them, and then one weekend I go away, and this group of friends of mine, all a different group of friends, and they bought White Claws, and I had a White Claw in like months, and I had like a first sip of White Claw, and I was like, in my head, I was like, oh my god, these are so much better than Bud Light Seltzers.
Dude,
I was like,
did
these
you
are so
crack?
much better.
Did you
than
crack?
Bud Light Seltzers.
But did you tell everybody right then and there, like, yeah, guys?
I looked
White
at the
Claw.
girl I was talking to, and I was like, these are way better. I was like, and she was like, oh, you did not just go there, and I was like, they're way better. And then I stopped
Whoa.
posting about Bud Light Seltzers, but these lemonade ones are doing me justice here.
I'll have to try it. They just came out with those, right? Like, that's a new.
Like
the
literally, I
lemonade?
think within the last month. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even know about them until that podcast, and that was like last week. And I was like, okay, I
Whoa.
gotta get them at one point. They're
I-
pretty great, pretty straight.
I think they had a Super Bowl ad too, right? Wasn't it?
Did they?
One where it was like life gives you lemons, and there was like
Oh,
lemons
that
falling
was
down.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was right. Something about that. I was like, what the fuck is this commercial about? And then it was like, okay. So
Speaking-
long it wasn't a car company, because usually the car companies are the ones that have all the far out ones that have nothing to do with the brand.
Dude,
You know,
it's
no offense to the advertisers.
it's
over there, I'm sure
ridiculous. The commercials are
millions of dollars.
yeah, they spend millions of dollars, and sometimes it's like, sometimes the commercials are so bad, and you're not, and then you have to question like, did they make it that bad on purpose so that we would
Right.
talk about it? Is that where they put the money in? They're like, let's just make a shitty commercial. People are gonna talk about it, and then you have the ones that are super good. My question is, at that point, you have to be, if you make an average commercial, what are you doing?
Word, dude. Yeah, like, it's
Because
not
now
memorable.
you don't stand out. Right. It's either
Yeah.
like super good or super horrible. There's no in between. That's all that gets attention nowadays. Hate to say it like that.
But do you guys remember like the old school GoDaddy commercials? You guys remember those?
Kind of,
Oh,
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
with all the beautiful women.
Oh, yeah, like
talk
Fanta.
Talk about commercials that had nothing to do with the product.
Nothing
you know,
to do.
That's like the epitome of it right there.
People probably thought GoDaddy was like a porn site at first. I mean, I mean, like, you're just being honest. Like, think about it. Like, think about it. Like, you see that's all you see is these beautiful girls in GoDaddy outfits.
But
And then you're
true,
like,
and to be honest,
GoDaddy.com.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I haven't heard of
Well-
that site before. And then you go to it and you're like, build your own website.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sure a lot of porn sites are hosted by GoDaddy.com.
Maybe that's how they started, dude.
That's
Can you
that's,
imagine?
that's their
Just
main
like
buyer.
porn-friendly like website hosting. Like maybe that's where it started from.
Well,
Yeah.
there's so much money to be made in web hosting for porn sites and then advertising. Like when I got into advertising, I
Yes,
couldn't
please tell.
believe the amount of money and the amount of traffic that people were driving from porn ads. And I'm like, who are these people clicking on porn ads? You know, like maybe I clicked once when I was like 15 just to check it out and see what it was about, right? You know,
Get those
what
growth
are the ones,
pills.
the classic ones. I'm like, who's buying this
Them
shit?
big dick
Are you
pills,
kidding
yeah.
me? Think about all the people who are looking for like hot singles in their area.
We all know.
Come on.
We all know. Yeah, those are the classic too. I agree. I think it. I bet you. What if like they did a study and like over half the clicks are just like accidental.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
You know
But,
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? Like, so they go
I'm
to
sure.
click to they're like, oh, next video, and then like click the ad instead. And they're like, no.
I'm sure. I mean, the amount of probably like, I mean, it's a big thing actually in that advertising industry is just the amount of fraudulent clicks and then also accidental clicks. But it's just
Oh,
funny
yeah.
because
I mean,
it's just like
Look at
the amount of money.
like what Facebook and Instagram. Well, Instagram and Facebook are the same now, but they do like you can pay for clicks per ad, and it's no guarantee. Like it's just the click. You have no idea if it's
Yeah.
sincere or not. You gotta pay for those. You gotta pay for the conversions more than the clicks. At first, clicks were good. I think now it's a little overrated because sometimes I even like scrolling through Instagram. Since there's an ad every goddamn 3 posts now, I might click an ad by accident that I don't even care about, and it's crazy. It's getting
Well,
too much.
then you get retargeted until it's just nonstop retargeting, right? Like it's just they'll retarget
Yeah.
you
It's
until
the machine keeps spitting out the same ads until I click on it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's a massive failure with that advertising, and that's what I think is interesting about podcasting is just, you know, with a lot of those ads, what they'll call it is programmatically inserted, meaning you use a piece of software to automatically bid for you and, you know, bid per user where they're putting the ad, where it's placed next to. I'd be really interested to see how that works with podcasting because I know Spotify's trying to build something out like that where people can basically, you know, it's basically like blind, like, okay, here's Spotify algorithm, like push my ad to podcasts that you think are relevant. So I'm really interested to see how they're doing that because I don't know if you've been listening to Joe Rogan's podcast on Spotify.
Yeah.
But now they have these ads and like these mid-roll ads, or they're not mid-roll, like mid podcast, whatever you call them, like these ads inserted in the middle. And to be honest, I'm really not about it. Like they'll be talking some like, you know, on some other tangent, and then it's like a random ad. And I don't know, like podcasting is not supposed to be feeling, you know, that corporate-y. It's not. It should be more well integrated right into the show. At least that's how I view it.
I had that happen once, and I'll be honest, I haven't noticed it since on Joe Rogan's episodes. I noticed it at the beginning again, which is I thought was weird because I thought he would be getting rid of ads since he's on Spotify, but apparently not.
He's keeping his ad. He's keeping his ad money too. That deal was just mint for him.
I mean, hey, it's the deal that opened up the eyes to all podcasters that hey, we might be onto something. Like that could, I mean, we might not even get a contract that big, but like, it's like, okay, this is legit. Like we can make a legit living and not worry about, you know, an advertisement living where it's on that method of if they use your code, you get money.
Yeah.
It really gave, I mean, that's the way I looked at it is it changed the game. It did. If you start to get a big enough audience, you can get paid and not have to worry about click-throughs and all that anymore. You can get paid normal and upfront. Which is good and bad because one, it freed up everything, or I mean, not freed up, but it showed everybody that it's possible. But on the other hand, I do worry about down the road if that translates to less of a free podcast world. Because it's like in this age where it's like anyone can say it. You can just say what you want and you just podcast and do anything. But if these, you know, companies go to these different ways of doing it and they're giving out contracts and yada yada, are they going to be able to like silence people and stuff? It's just like free speech thing. It's like what's going to happen? Like what's going to happen with it? Because right now it's just free.
There are rumors that Apple is actually introducing their own premium podcasting platform. So basically a podcasting platform that you have to pay a monthly subscription to, and you got really premium, well done shows, but something that we've kind of been talking about a lot on our podcast as it relates to music, but it could definitely work in terms of podcasting is like we might see like we're already seeing it with Joe Rogan. His show is now behind the wall garden of Spotify. And who knows what's going to happen to some more of our favorite shows, right? So for me, like I'm a big Going Deep with Chad and JT fan. I love that show. And what happens if it goes behind like Apple Podcast Premium? Like I'm not trying to pay for that shit. You know?
I don't want to pay for it
with
at all.
Joe
Right?
Rogan's though, this is the difference why I think Spotify has the upper hand is the fact that you can still listen to it for free.
Yes, you can.
Right, so it's not it's a freemium model, right? So you can just either sign up or I don't even think you need to sign up anymore. I think on the web player you can actually just play it without even signing up. So unlike Apple Podcasts, like premium platform, that would be like behind a true paywall.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how they do that. But I mean that's Apple's playbook. Like I mean they're just trying to bundle as many services and products as possible behind some type of paywall and subscription.
And I hate to say it, is they got that money from everything else that they do to potentially, get big names on there and make it that paywall that is another service to pay for. And I agree. I hope they keep it free. I wish they would, and they just could make agreements with the ad revenue or something. I don't know how they would do it. But I have heard that rumor. I'm hoping that one's not true.
Yeah, man.
And I wonder if they're have you heard of Patreon, right? You guys have heard of Patreon, I'm assuming. And that's something I wonder if they're trying to compete with like a Patreon style model where podcasters can sign up and then people can pay you to listen to extra episodes or something. Maybe that's a thing. I would hope that's it. I really hope that's it. That'd be more ideal.
I feel like though people who are successful on Patreon, right, are able to offer like those additional episodes, or, like that additional content, like I feel like at that point, if you're able to do that, you probably have like a pretty big team behind you helping you put together all that content. Because I don't know about you guys, like, and Alec, I feel like I know about you, but bro, like, I don't have the capacity to put out like extra content besides like what we're doing right now on our show, dude. Like, this podcasting is hard as shit. Content producing in general is hard as shit. So just want to give a shout out to all the content producers out there because this is not easy to do and to keep up with and be consistently high quality with it, bro.
Yeah, I firmly believe that. I mean, it's especially hard when you're working full time and you're trying to do this on the side. I've slowly been coming to terms with the idea that if I want this to succeed more, I'm gonna have to quit this 9-to-5 job at some point. It's just starting to kind of. I mean, I kind of knew, and the goal was to always quit, but the goal was to quit more when I had more in the bank and more of a following and more of a podcast growth. But as I'm like doing this more and more, I'm like, I'm either gonna have to like take that jump or something's gonna get, something else has to give. It's just like there's this yin and yang where it's like which way is to do it. And because again, there's only just so much you can do, and it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I mean, when you think about like the biggest content creators that we know of, look at the Paul brothers, for instance. They're like huge. Everyone knows them. They did that stuff full time. I mean, love them or hate them, they were doing it full time, and they made great stuff, and they did it, but they are doing it full time. And maybe they didn't at first. I don't know their story, to be honest with you, but they do it full time. Now they do it full time because they have the biggest audience in the world, but they did that full time to get there,
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, let me ask you something, right? Like, you're a content creator. What has been like the hardest part on this content creation journey for you? Like, I know we've kind of already talked about like, it's a lot of freaking work, especially if you have a 9-to-5 job. But like outside of that, right? Like the time commitment is certainly there. But like outside of that, what has been the hardest part about being a content creator?
Going through those ups and downs of creativity and then not being creative. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. Other times there's things in life that are affecting it. There's a ton of different things. And some people have that willpower to keep posting. Some don't. Some might even just say, hey, I'm just going through a rough time. The posts aren't going to be the same right now. They're not going to be as many, yada, yada, whatever.
Yeah.
I just know, like, that is something that's very hard because you, like, there's days where, like, I had wanted to post. And then I have, like, those days where I'm, like, I want to post and I just don't because I'm, like, one, I'm just not there mentally. Like, and then I'm also, like, what am I going to post? I overthink it, like. And then I'm like, oh, I got to do this, this, and this. And then I overload myself with too much. I don't do any of it. Like, it's there's so many different things. I mean, honestly, the list could go on. I mean, we've talked about, being time wise, organization, like all that stuff plays into it, and you got to really, really be on top of it to be able to manage everything. Like you really do. It's almost like you have to have your schedule down to like a T. Like I'm gonna go see my friends Tuesday night at 6 and have dinner, and then I'm gonna leave and go home and edit videos and then go to bed. Like it's almost like it's this weird thing, and that's, I guess that at the end of the day, my answer is like the struggle of figuring out what works, because I don't know about you guys. For me, it took me a while just to do it, just to hey, I'm podcasting and like I'm doing these content stuff. I don't know about you guys. Was that your case?
Yeah, I mean, well, Alec, I mean, I think we could probably speak to like our origin story, right? Like in terms of like how we started the show, real quick. So,
Oh yeah, give me the give me the tea, give me the lowdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me the give me the grapefruit White Claw.
Yeah, dude, my man. So basically, Alec and I, we met in college, right? And just like immediately, this is my fucking boy right here. This is my fucking boy. Like I just knew. Yeah, of course, bro. Like, and I just knew right then and there, like. I bonded with this dude immediately because we both just have an immense love for dance music. We both love to DJ. We love going to shows. We love talking about music.
Hell yeah.
And we talked about this shit on a daily basis. We met in college and we were just like, dude, like let's put this out there. Like let's make a podcast, right? So November 2018, we sit down at a little coffee shop in New Jersey, and we get to writing.
Shout out Van Gogh Cafe. I think it's Van Gogh. Van Gogh's here or something like that. It's in New Jersey.
Like that. Yeah,
something like that.
It's in New Jersey.
I hope it's still open because it's gonna be you're gonna have your pictures up on the wall one of these days, right?
That's where it all started, dude.
That's right, right.
So like we're sitting there and we're planning it out, and we actually record the first 5 episodes, right? And then Alec, he hits me with horrible news for me to hear, but wonderful news for him. My man is moving to San Francisco. He's packing it all up, and he's like, I'm going across the country to San Francisco. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so amped up for you, man. Like, I'm so pumped up. And
well, hold on, just to preface this, I got a job offer. It's not like I just decided to be like, peace.
No, I figured that much. I figured that much. Yeah. If you don't mind, what was the job offer? I'm just curious.
Yeah, no. So it was to work at this ad tech startup in the Bay Area, based out of San Mateo. So I decided to live in San Francisco proper rather than living in the Bay. And it was just really exciting because actually, funnily enough, I was not applying for any jobs in California at all. Like I had on my LinkedIn that I was open to moving to places, and San Francisco was one of them, but I put all the major tech hubs. And a recruiter from this company reached out to me. So it was the only one. Wow. And I was actually talking to a couple of different New York companies, but since the startup world, like they move super fucking quick.
Oh, yeah.
They just move quick.
Yeah.
So when they wanted me, they were like, okay, like we'll pay you a relocation fee, but you have to get here in 2 weeks. So there was like no, transition time basically. Mm-hmm. I spent like a whole week packing it up and had to, somehow I managed to convince my girlfriend to come out with me. So we packed up my car and we drove all the way from New Jersey to San Francisco. But yeah, the job was doing sales at this ad tech company, so trying to get clients on board to do various types of advertising with them. And I ended up actually co-founding a company with the people that hired me, eventually called One Portal. Shout out to One Portal. So
whoa, interesting.
It was a hell of a ride, a hell of a journey.
Dang, that's crazy. Okay, sorry, a little detour there, but I want to hear the story about how you. Yeah, I definitely got questions about that stuff, but we'll go back to how Beyond the Beats and the vision of this started.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap it up right there, right? So Alec moves across the country. I'm super amped up for him. But obviously now we're in complete opposite coasts, so logistically, like how are we going to record this podcast? Like it just doesn't seem possible. Right. But, a couple months later after he moved, he was just like, dude, let's just fucking do it. Like, let's just figure this out and let's just do it. Mm-hmm. So we figured out the methodology for recording in opposite coasts. We don't use Zoom to record our podcast. It's a great tool, but we use a different method.
Nice.
And we just started pumping it out, dude. We just started pumping it out. Yeah. But like what we quickly learned was just how much work it is to keep up with a weekly podcast, on top of being on opposite coasts, and on top of that, having full-time 9-to-5 jobs. But I gotta say, one of my favorite things about working with Alec and just people like him is his ability to just like take risks. Like, I mean, the dude just literally talked about how he packed up his life and he just made the decision. 2 weeks later, he was in San Francisco starting a whole new life right out of college. And I love people like that. And like, I think it's so important to embrace taking risks.
You know, and here's why I love Samir, because I am this kind of, I guess you kind of categorize me as like more of the cowboy prototype, like going out there, taking these risks, doing these things. So I need to be grounded, quite a lot, and then also kept to not doing many tangents. So that's one of the things that Samir probably edits the most. If is probably my side tangents that I like to bring up. But what I love about working with Samir is the fact that he has no, it's okay. I mean, first of all, you're a great face to look at. He's a gorgeous guy, beautiful. I'm glad we're doing the video. Finally, everyone could appreciate.
Please go check the YouTube out. You'll understand on the podcast, right?
Exactly. But what about what's amazing about Samir is that honestly his organizational capability, I should say, is really second to none.
Yeah.
So what's helped is that we had that natural click, but with kind of my risk taking tendencies, willingness to dive into the unknown, combined with his like ability to create processes, right, and organize us and keep us on track and keep the vision going, really I think makes kind of a pretty dynamic duo, right? Because you've got he fills in kind of the blanks from what my capabilities are missing, and then I fill in the blanks for what maybe he's missing too. And I think that's the key to starting any team, and it's something that we've certainly realized in ourselves and with our vision, is that when we want to grow beyond the beats, as we plan to this year, we need to find people who have a similar dynamic, but also look at it as who fills what gap and how does each individual team member help one another.
Totally.
Yeah, that's very well put. I mean, that's something I've noticed and I've seen firsthand. I share a studio with some other people, and they have their own company and they do their own thing as well. And that was one of the things that he mentioned when I was talking to him. I was like, you guys are doing great. You guys are doing amazing right now. And he's like, yeah, well, he is the one who knows what product to get, and he knows this and he knows that, and I handle the business side and I handle the computer side because he doesn't know that stuff. And it's just, he does that and I know he knows it, and I do that and he knows I know it, and it's done. And we both just know we get the job done. We just get the job done. Whereas if you have a lot of people that are all the same, we're all doing sales. No, we can't all do sales. It's like it's something like that. And I've seen that too. I've witnessed that firsthand. When we were younger, we tried to start a company and do something, and we all kind of had like this sense of business in us, which is great, but we couldn't figure out how to divvy it up correctly. And and not that it went bad or anything. We're all still friends. It's all fine. Nothing like that. But it's something that I learned from that as an experience. It was a great learning experience, like you're saying. Somebody to help ground you, somebody to be adventurous, and they each pull a little bit. Alec brings out Samir's adventurous side, and Samir brings Alec back every once in a while when he goes too off on a tangent. Stuff like that. It's good. It's amazing.
There's a book I couldn't recommend more for anyone listening to this, and it's something I've read. I actually just finished reading it for the second time. It's called Who Not How: The Formula to Achieve Bigger Goals Through Accelerating Teamwork by Dan Sullivan. And it's a book that's solely premised around, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a leader of any sort, you have to get yourself out of the mode of thinking about how you get things done and thinking about who you can find to help you get your vision or actualize your things. So stop focusing as much on like, okay, I need to do everything, even if you have the capability to do everything. If you want to achieve big goals, you need to get a team and you need to find the right people to accomplish your goals. So just shout out to Dan Sullivan for that book. It really changed my mindset on a lot of things.
And just to build upon that, and that's something that I've really kind of like learned from Alec, especially as we've been growing beyond the beats, is I'm the kind of guy who loves to own like process and the things like and my tasks. I love to own it.
Yeah.
But as we grow and as we really start to bring on more guests and we start to do these more partnerships and collaborations, we're learning that like, yes, while Alec and I certainly do have the capabilities to do all these things, humanly it's just not possible. And I've had to come to terms with that over these past couple of months and like kind of tell myself like, yo, you can't do everything, and it's okay. It's okay to seek outside help. And just something that I've been working on myself is learning when to ask for help. And I think that's really important, because I'm quickly also learning that there are a lot of people who are out there who are willing to help just to help and to get some experience.
That's very well put. That's something that now you're opening my eyes to, because I'm like over here, like, because we've talked before on the phone and stuff like that, us three, and we seem very in the same boat, same mindset about a lot of this stuff. And yeah, I mean, that's something I haven't even thought about. I mean, I've thought about it, but currently I'm like, I don't have any friends that do this or do that, so I'm like, where do I even begin to look for somebody to help me with X, Y, Z on my show and yada yada. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's it's a lot. I think you're saying, like, yes, you could do everything and you could do it all by yourself, but the team effort gets it done quicker and easier on everybody. And
Totally.
there's
Well, and it's even like, just from the book, what I've realized, and trust me, I struggle with this all the time because I'm somebody that just likes to get my hands dirty, I like to do everything. So this is a daily struggle for me to get out of, like, because, and I'm also just, curious intellectually. Like, I've gotten into lots of trouble before for just, when I'm supposed to be doing sales and I'm trying to talk to the engineering team because I want to understand how the engineering works. And they're like, why the fuck are you focused on this stuff? Like, you don't need to know it to this degree. You need to go out and sell. And I'm just like, well, I want to know the product. I really want to get to know it. So it's like, it could get you some type of trouble. But I think, obviously having that curiosity and that capability, being a generalist, right, is the term for it, is good. But when you're trying to start something that's bigger than yourself, you have to take a step back and understand your role in the place. So for us, for Samir and I, it's going to be as, transformational leaders or people who have the vision, and we create the framework of what we want Beyond the Beats to be. But eventually what we have to do is find people who can fill the gaps in, who can actually, who have the expertise, who can make this stuff actually happen, right? Because we'll quickly run out of bandwidth. And then also, we're not fucking Einstein in every single thing, right? Just because we can do it doesn't mean we're doing it the best.
Right.
And it's just understanding your role in that, and understanding it's okay to have other people, actualize your vision. Doesn't give you any less value or anything like that. It's just, then the key is just understanding what your vision is, and then how do you go out and find the right people to actualize it.
So what is it that you two particularly look for when you're looking for other potential people to help out if you're starting that journey? Because it seems like you're starting that journey of possibly getting
we're just starting
third person of help. Yeah, I mean, I understand. But like, what is that? Because you guys are chock full of great information and great ideas on like how to go about it, and generally speaking, like, for real, it's this stuff I haven't even thought about, and I'm like, wow, that's so true. That's so very true. There's this and that, and we just got our little warning, unfortunately, with the Zoom. I hate Zoom. Sorry, tad bit off there, but so what is it that you guys go about looking for to help complete that? If you add a third person, that trifecta per se.
Yeah, I mean, I have one main thing that I really want to talk about as it comes to this. Like, for me, I'm not looking for somebody who's an expert in these fields, but what I am looking for is somebody who wants to learn, and is passionate about dance music. Because if you bring on people who are not passionate about the culture or are not passionate about the scene, that is going to reflect in their work and their work ethic, and they're just not going to be interested in diving full deep into it. I have a lot to learn, but Alec and I have also learned a lot throughout this process that we feel like we can pass on to people who want to join our team and learn more about the dance music industry in specific. So that's my number one thing. Alec, what about you, man? Like, what's your number one thing?
I'm right there with you, man. I mean, passion is a humongous one. Like, you need people who are going to believe in what you're doing and what you're planning on. Like, it's not even what you're doing, but what you plan on doing, your vision, right? So you've got to find the people who have the open-mindedness to believe in that and the passion to believe in that. But then also, like, you have to recognize the stage in which you are. So that's one of the things that I learned from the company that I came out here for, and then the company that I co-founded, is really how you start scaling smaller organizations. And one of the key things is, yes, you need some people who are, technically, very good at one area, but you do need some of those generalists, some of those like agile type of team members, right? And I mean, I'm a fan of the agile team setup, and not as many people, not everyone is, but in my opinion, if you have someone who's passionate, and when you're starting off, when you only have a few people, and you have somebody who's passionate and can do multiple things with you, that's the key. So that's what you got to find, is someone who's passionate and someone who is able to switch from different focuses. Because at the end of the day, you know, even with only 3 people, a podcast is a hell of a lot to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the content creation alone is a lot because there's just so much that at the surface level you don't see that goes into it. You know, you see you hear the podcast, you see the cover art, but like you don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, there's weeks where I'm messaging 20 people. Hey, you want to come on? Hey, you want to come on? Hey, okay, this day works. Let's schedule this. Oh, this day doesn't work. Okay. Oh, I'm booked this day and that works for you. Let's reschedule this week. So there's that. And then there's, oh, I got to promote the podcast. Okay, so now I got to make posts about the podcast that the ones I've already done. And then I need to do.
And that's huge.
Oh,
I mean, that is so big. And that's something I completely underestimated is how much fucking time goes into
So
like
underestimated.
promoting the podcast. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, we just did the show notes. We just
Yeah.
recorded the episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God, now I have to go out and promote it.
And that's the thing is, it's every week. It's not like,
Every week.
Not like, oh, we have a show. It's not like you own a brick and mortar building,
Right.
and the artists are coming to you, and you're going, cool. We get to promote something every other week or every week, but they're coming to us, and you're not having to do it all on your own. You normally have a team in that situation. And yeah, it's perpetual. It's something new every week. You got to get that out there. Boom, boom, and it's a lot harder than it looks. It is.
yeah.
I mean, it's. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
cut you
you're
off,
good. You're
but
good. You didn't.
I just wanted to say it is probably one of the most rewarding experiences that I've ever been a part of in my life. You know,
Yes,
like
for sure.
just getting the messages from people who listen to our show, seeing our world map on our hoster light up around the world, and seeing where people are tuning in from on the show is probably just one of the most impactful things for me, and it just makes this
Yeah.
process so much more worth it. It makes me want to keep going. I mean, Alec, we got an email from somebody who said that you know, they love our show because they don't have like a rave squad, but they feel like they're a part of a rave squad with us when they listen to our show. And I was just like, God damn, dude, like I felt that big time. You know what I mean? Like I just absolutely love stuff like that. But you know, that's for me, that's what keeps me intrinsically motivated. Babs, I mean, dude, like let's not forget about you, bro. Like you are straight up grinding out here, man. You're growing your audience. Like what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going, dude?
You know, what's weird is like these last couple months have been a little bit difficult, and you know, it's a great question because I don't even know. I've just kept it going. I mean, like that's the truth. These last couple months have been hard, and for that reasons that I'm not gonna say right now, but it just have been, and it's been at times mentally draining. I mean, I've had a week where I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? But at the same time, I kept booking guests and I kept putting out podcasts, and I wasn't doing much on social media because of that situation. I just wasn't in the right mind to do it. I'm finally feeling good. I'm starting to post again more. But like at that time, I was like, all right, what am I doing? But yet here I am still turning away, getting the guests on. And I mean, you know, for me, I think it comes down to, I guess, helping people in a sense. I mean, there's levels to the podcast where I love to get deep with people. And yes, I can have fun. I can shoot this shit with anybody, but I really like those deep conversations, and I like being real. I mean, you know, the message is living yourself every day. There's no way around that in everybody's life, and there's so many hardships and different scenarios and different avenues people can go, and I'm all about, you know, sharing my experience and other people's experiences to help somebody that could be listening halfway across the world get through their own experience. And I guess that's what it comes down to. But I've never really sat and thought about what keeps me going, because there have been times where, like I said, I just kept going. I just kept doing it. And it was like, why? Oh, what am I doing? But here I am, keep going. 50 episodes in, 55 episodes in, 56 episodes.
Oh shit, dude.
You know, and it just keeps
Congratulations.
going. So, no, I appreciate that. You guys are farther than me. You're like 85. What are you talking about?
Oh, no,
Congratulations.
we're getting on there. We're getting on there. But I think you hit on a really good point, man. I think actually, in a way, without you realizing it, you're actually, the reason why you're going is so intrinsically connected to the core of what dance music is and what dance music is all about, right? I mean, this speaks just to house, and like, you know, we've told this story many times on our podcast, but when house was really started in the warehouse in Chicago, right, DJ Frankie Knuckles, it was a place for people of all walks of life of all colors and backgrounds and music tastes to come together in a place and just celebrate and just let loose and have fun. But really what that was about lifting each other up, making each other feel better, and ignoring any type of superficial elements that are tagged along you. So within the very essence, it seems, of dance music and the people who get into it, because you can ask pretty much anybody who works in the industry and they can't tell you entirely why they worked, all night just to make this little thing happen. They can't tell you why they have the 9 to 5 and they do this on the side. But I think it's because when you're connected to that energy, and I feel so hippie for fucking saying it, but when you're connected to that energy of just lifting each other up, right, and being binded together by a common passion and a common goal, I think it's just so powerful, and I think will drive people to continue doing things even when they feel like maybe just mentally and consciously, maybe I should not be doing this much, or what am I doing this for? Because Samir and I have definitely, we've thought about it too. It's just like there's some weeks where you're just like, fuck me, I don't want to put out this episode, or I don't want to promote this thing, or for me, I don't want to type up the show notes, it's like, fuck that, I don't want to do it. But when you're connected to the essence of it, it really helps you keep going. And I think that's just, I'm sure the same with you, Babs, when you've had people reach out to you, you feel that lift, you feel that you get energy from it.
I've had 2 or 3 people literally in the last week reach out to me, and it was just heartfelt, and it made me excited to continue what I was doing. It was just very simple. Like one of my friends very simply just said, "Hey, I listened to one of your episodes and I started listening to more, and like I love what you talk about." I was like, "You do? Like what? Like tell me more." Like and it was very short and simple, but it meant the world to me, because I was like, wow, like not many people have said that, and I don't know about you guys. I actually didn't tell any of my friends at first, so very few of my friends in my area know that I even do this. I'm just doing it and working hard, and if they find it, they find it, and a lot of them have found it. But besides the point, but that one friend particularly reaching out in a time when I needed it most was perfect. It was like, all right, I'm gonna keep going, keep grinding with this. It truly meant a lot. So I understand that.
That's why it's just so important for people to support other content creators, right? Like if there's a content creator out there that you really enjoy, like watching and listening to, whether it be podcast or video, whatever it may be, reach out to them, because they may be going through a rough patch in their content creation journey and maybe thinking to themselves like, like this isn't reaching people, like this isn't what I want to do. And it may just be because like some people are just afraid to reach out and be like, hey, I really enjoyed this, please keep doing stuff